Midwest Muscle Report. We are at USA Gym, the Mecca of the Midwest. We have the opportunity to sit down today with Arnold Classic champion Autumn Swansen and Arnold Classic champion Brandon Hendrickson. What's happening, guys?
Oh,
not a lot.
it's a whole new life now.
So the two of you are coming off, what's the biggest wins of your lives, both of you? I think it's very interesting, the parallel lines that are drawn. The roads that you guys both took are very different, but the results have both been the same over the last year. So let's start there. Brandon, you and I have been together, God, since 2012, 2013?
Yeah, 2012.
Okay. I saw you at a regional show.
Yep.
I was downstairs helping run the show. You were young, running around like a chicken with your head cut off.
No idea what I was doing.
No idea. And I pulled you to the table and I said, hey, go register for Junior Nationals. You're about to win the overall. You remember that?
Yeah. It's so funny. Before was that before?
It was
prejudging?
before prejudging. And he said, well, how do you know? I said, don't worry, I know you're gonna win the overall. And he said, what's Junior Nationals? I said, you need to register tomorrow. And sure enough, he did. And tell us a little bit about what happened from there.
Well, I ended up winning the overall from there, which is crazy. Then Junior Nationals was only a few weeks after that.
Right.
So we went there. We weren't working together as of yet.
Correct.
But went there, got second call outs, ended up placing 7th there. And after the show, Mandus was like, call me Monday. The show was on Saturday. Mandus said, call me Monday. And then I called you on Monday, and 5 months later, we turned pro at Nationals in Miami.
Absolutely. You know, it's ironic because you had competed with another guy who took 4th or 5th in the class.
Yeah.
And he called me the day after that show, and he ended up 2nd at Junior Nationals. So that was a quick improvement. And like Brandon said, we started working together the day after juniors, put it together, hit the stage, won Nationals hands down.
Yep.
So we've been together for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Did very well at a lot of shows. Mostly top 7 finishes at every show.
First year, yeah.
Yeah. And then you went into the Tampa Pro, and that was a big win, and that's when everything really started.
Yeah, that was a dream come true, man. I didn't go into expecting it, but I knew I worked for it, training and dieting for it, and for it to actually happen was like a movie, like I was saying. But it was just a really good experience, and I'm happy it got me the Olympia qualification, which is the biggest thing that I had ever done in my life thus far.
Absolutely. I think a lot of things were different. We live in the same city. We train together a lot. But at that point, we weren't doing all of our traveling together. At Tampa, we traveled together. I was out there with you at the show. It's also when Kenny Wallet was introduced into the mix as well.
Yep.
And the little bit of adjusting he did with the posing 5 minutes before you went out on stage. And when you walked out on stage, it was over.
Yeah.
It was over.
Kenny gave me his blessing literally 5 minutes before I got on stage, and it changed my whole physique completely from what I brought to the show. And it really stood out, his posing.
Yeah.
It really helped.
I think that was a big part of understanding too. As a coach, you absolutely can have athletes that are in other cities and other places doing shows, and it absolutely works. But there's definitely something different about the coach traveling with you and being there for the last 48 or 72 hours. We were looking at things and running through things every 2 to 3 hours. Your confidence level was soaring. We probably made 3 or 4 more adjustments than we usually do because I literally could see your body changing right before my eyes. That's also, like I said, when Kenny got brought into the mix, the small adjustments he made that made such a big difference on stage. And after that, everything took off. And you haven't done a show where we haven't been together the entire weekend from there. Now from there, you stepped on the Olympia stage.
Yeah, the biggest stage of my bodybuilding career, which is what, 2-3 years now. Oh man, like I said, it was just like a movie I'm watching, and it just doesn't feel real. It's so surreal just being up there. I remember a couple years before, even before that, I would be on YouTube watching these guys get on that same stage I was on, and looking up to them and being motivated to actually get there. It was a dream, and I actually got to live it.
Yeah.
So
I remember telling you, we're going to the O one day.
You did say that.
We're going to the O, and I think it's great to look back and see that journey.
Yeah.
We talked about going to the Arnold, so let's talk about the O first. I don't know what the expectations were, but we were definitely riding high. Coming off of that win at Tampa, and you got to Vegas a day later than I wanted you to.
Yeah.
You showed up waterlogged, so the plane ride really took a toll on you.
Yeah.
But again, we were there together, and the adjustments we made happened quickly. Now that also happened because we've done so many shows together.
Yeah, the experience, yeah.
Let's be honest, nobody knows their own body better than themselves, but when you've got rapport with somebody and time with somebody and done a lot of shows together, they really get to know your physique. And when you stepped off the plane and came to the hotel room, at that time, Autumn was sitting there, Brent was there, Sarah was there, and nobody wanted to say anything, but everyone was kind of looking at him like,
a little nervous.
This guy is never gonna be ready.
Yeah.
And I didn't waver. I didn't have a doubt at all.
Yeah, you were chilling.
I wasn't worried.
You'd seen it before.
I'd seen
you
it
knew what
before.
you could do. You knew the timing.
I knew how your body responded.
Yep.
And Brandon, you stepped on that stage and you shocked the world. I think what really made you stand out was at the time, everybody was talking about the champ Jeremy and Sadiq. And you happen to come out next to Sadiq.
Yeah.
Now for 99 other competitors, that would be the kiss of death. For you, that was the best thing that could have happened.
Oh yeah.
Because you stood next to him and you stood out, which then enabled you to be catapulted into that first call out. What was going on when you were called out in that first call out?
Yeah, it was so cool, man. I mean, I looked up to those same guys that I'm standing next to. So like for that, it was just like a surreal feeling. But the fact, like just being up there, I knew I belonged there because of being up there, I look back on the work that I done. I'm like, I know I belong in this very spot right here. So I just kept confident and just did what I had to do, and the results showed.
Absolutely. Now, I will admit we probably shared a little bit more of an emotional moment than most men share together. But again, it's been a hell of a journey. It was a hell of a ride. And what most people wouldn't know is the minute you got off stage after we hugged and again probably shed a tear together. We started talking about plans for the Arnold
at the Olympia.
At the Olympia, 5 minutes after you got off stage.
Yep.
I don't think that's normal. I don't know what's normal, but I can't imagine that that's normal. We did celebrate, but we did talk about that. And the Arnold's not that long after the Olympia. There wasn't a whole lot of time. And Brandon, you made your Olympia package look like an NPC package compared to what you did at the Arnold. And you walked away the Arnold Classic champ.
Yeah.
How did that have to feel?
Yeah. It was like back to back, things were just happening. I mean, I can only give it to God. He's the only reason that I even had the confidence and the motivation to keep pushing. We all have like life issues, and there was a lot of things going on. But the fact is that I knew I had to remain focused and keep my eye on the prize. And it just, like the hard work finally paid off, and I just knew I belonged there. And God is good, man. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Now, Brandon, in the past, I think we've had several conversations about as things were happening for you, like you said, life happens. There's been more than once where we had a conversation where you almost started to drift a little bit from and deviated from your plan. And sometimes we had some hard conversations. I think you and I both knew it was always what was best for you. But that didn't hurt our relationship at all. All it did was make it stronger. Because at that point, you know, we had gotten to a point where we weren't coach athlete anymore. You know, we look at each other as brothers. You know, we really do. When I talk to people, I say, well, that's my younger brother. And you have to, once in a while, your younger brother might be getting slightly distracted. And when we would have those conversations, I could just see the fire.
Yeah, for sure.
And for as well as you've done in the past, I've never seen the fire and the intensity that I have seen in the last couple of weeks that we've been training together, as you're now getting ready for, again, what is the biggest show of your life. And going to battle the champ, you've put yourself in a position where you're now that contender who's a legitimate threat. Where's your mindset at? And how have you been able to switch gears? Because again, I've never seen you like this. I've never seen you like this. And I've known you for years, and you've been successful. But there's another switch, brother.
Yeah, definitely. Leading up to like all my shows, it's just like that dream, the whole dream, and then actually getting there and accomplishing my goal was like living that dream. But now it's like it's not even a dream anymore. It's just something that I know I have to live and something that I have to do. And I'm even more motivated by the fact that I know that I can be a champ, Olympia champ one day. So I think that's what it is. It's just I know my potential that I have, and I know that I can achieve the championship. So, you know, I think that's what really just pushes me beyond just being a monster. I call it being a savage now.
Well, putting yourself in what I would consider the perfect situation for you. You know, a little while ago, we made some adjustments. We decided we'd get together at least 2 to 3 times a week. I said, this is just what we have to do. You're training to win the Olympia. We do live relatively close. Let's get it done. We train here at USA Gym, which is my mentor's gym. Old school, hardcore, no fluff, Chuck Sano's gym. And the atmosphere and the mentality here is you work hard, period. When Chuck puts me through a workout, I want to throw up and pass out. So now I pass that on to you. And the last few workouts, Brandon is keeled over on a machine, gasping for air. And guess what? When it's his turn, he jumps up, kills it, and then almost needs to fall over again. You are pushing harder than I've seen ever. But it's this atmosphere, it's your mentality. You've got the perfect storm brewing right now. And I think everybody's really excited to see this clash of what's going to be a clash of the Titans. So we're excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited. And I couldn't be more happy to come here and you know, push through and train at USA Gym and also Ironclad Gym in Roselle, you know, another hardcore gym that I go to. So just the atmosphere, the people that I'm surrounded by, and just the motivation of the potential that I have to achieve that champion. I went from beast mode to savage time.
So it's been a long road. We've been together for a long time. Won the Tampa Pro. Took 5th at the O last year. Won the Arnold this year, and now you're training for the Olympia Championship.